Before we get to this story on housing, Paul, I saw a stat earlier this morning that I wanted to touch on in an unrelated area of the economy, specifically the Taylor Swift area of the economy.
Okay.
Did you guys see last week that Taylor Swift extended her tour to like 50 different international dates through the first half of next year?
I did not see that. Wow.
So yeah,
she wants all the money in the world.
It goes through August of next, and you're talking again like all the stadiums you'd think, Wembley, the Olympic Stadium in Germany. I mean, like you go through the list, it's just a monster. She's actually doing 5 different nights at Wembley in 2 different months. She's doing 2 in June, I think, and then 3 in August. That's how heavy the demand is in London. She can do 5 more than sold out Wembley nights. So someone put together like all the numbers on this. And when you look at the total economic impact of this tour, we're talking, hotels. Because, again, some people are flying across the country or across the world to go to these things, right? The total economic impact, when you include everything, the merch, the hotels, the airfare, the tickets that maybe you can get at face value, but most likely you're getting well above face value. Mm-hmm. It's estimated that it's going to be $5 billion in economic activity. To put this in perspective, Taylor Swift has a larger GDP than over 50 countries.
Wow.
Taylor Swift is an economy the size of Fiji.
I believe it.
Isn't that just insane? I've never seen anything like this.
This had popped in my head. How much do you think she's making off this tour?
So the estimate is that the tour itself is probably going to gross somewhere between $700 million and $1.2 billion.
Okay, that's what I heard. $1 billion of gross, and then
her
I just
take
wonder,
is probably 30 to 40%
is
what most people have estimated.
Wow!
So she's going to come away with probably $1/3 $1 billion from this. I've never seen anything like this. I mean, there's some big artists out there. Don't get me wrong. I mean, Beyonce does her tours. The Rolling Stones do. Like you go through the list of who's who. I've never seen anything like this.
Well, listen, Taylor Swift is a great artist. We all know that. But to do this is really unheard of, and this has really turned into an event where it's just like, I can't miss this. I have to be there.
I've never seen it across demographics like this either.
That's what I was just going to speak to, is that she's had already a 15-plus year career, and she spans from our kind of age group to even younger, and then to adults
older
as well. Yeah,
right. It's
mass appeal.
Parents are bringing the kids.
Right. There's anyone from the ages of 10 to 60 that is like,
maybe
I
older.
need to go to this.
Maybe older than 60.
Right, 10 to 80. I've never seen anything like this from a musical artist.
And I don't know if we'll see it again, honestly.
No, even from her, you probably won't see it. It's just, for whatever reason, it's just this convergence of whatever it is this year. It's basically the year of Taylor Swift, not just in music, but economically. I've never seen anything like this.
It is incredible. It is incredible. There's not another artist out there that you can think of that has such wide-ranging appeal. Perhaps the Beatles maybe would be in the same ballpark.
I think you probably have to go back to the Beatles and Elvis and those guys.
Yeah. Yep.
She really is approaching that territory.
I'm trying to think if there's anyone else who's in that category.
It's just like, oh my God, I gotta see her. Absolutely have to go to this concert.
I mean, did Michael Jackson ever have anything like this?
One. Yeah.
Yeah.
His was a shorter career at its peak, though.
Yeah.
His career was 8, maybe 9 years at its peak, and then it was kind of hanging on for 15.
Yeah, recycling a lot of the same hits.
Like, I'm not counting the Jackson 5 as him alone as a solo artist.
Elton John.
No, not like
he's
this.
He's number 1 of all time. So
I know, but not like this.
In terms of
just
have to be there.
Mass popularity is kind of
just the sheer buzz that you get. I mean, you get people who aren't interested in Taylor Swift's music who are still like, oh, I need to go to that. There are people who have never heard a Taylor Swift song who are like, oh, I should go to that. It's I've never seen anything like this.
I think when U2 starts to get even older, you'll maybe start to see that.
No. U2 has no cultural relevance to someone who's 15.
They stretch across multiple demographics, though, but
you don't get the...
it's definitely an older demographic.
You don't get the
yeah.
guy who paid $20,000 to take his daughters to Taylor Swift at Gillette.
Right.
They're not going to do that for you.
Yeah, that's true.
15-year-old daughters are not going to want to go to U2 at Gillette for $20,000.
I mean, Harry Styles is kind of rising right now.
Nope.
He's definitely getting a ton of popularity, though.
So to compare,
he's number
to
8
compare this to
currently
something more
for
relatable,
concerts.
Harry Styles is Aaron Rodgers.
Like, I'm not saying he's
Okay.
there yet.
He's, a star, but you look at Taylor Swift, and she's Michael Jordan and Tiger Woods and Tom Brady all rolled into one.
Because in the music industry, it's so difficult to stay relevant for a significant period of time. And the names that have done it, Jay-Z, Taylor Swift, the names that we're talking about, so many musical artists, you're only cool when you're in that younger age range, but she's done it from 18 to now being 33 or 34, and there's really no signs that she'll slow down anytime soon.
I mean, the best comps career-wise, because again, as you mentioned, you lose that coolness usually when you hit
50 for a rapper or for
I was
any
getting,
type
like,
of a rock
40 or
artist.
so you kind of lose that
Yes.
edge that
Yep.
you're just not young
Yeah.
anymore.
And there's only so much to talk about when you're a billionaire or, a millionaire.
you don't have real life experiences
Yeah.
usually at that
I
point.
mean, she's only 33.
Yep.
I mean, you have to compare it to someone in sports because it's a similar type of career arc where, yeah, you could still be very good at 50 and beat just about anyone in the world in it, but you can't compete with, the careers that you think of. It's Wayne
Jordan.
Gretzky. It's not even Jordan.
I think
In
it's
terms of
Jordan.
longevity, no.
No,
It's
but
Gretzky and Brady, and there's no one else.
here's the thing from a brand recognition standpoint. Even
Oh,
if
yeah.
you talk to a
Yes.
12-year-old kid on the street, they
Yes.
still know about Jordan shoes, and he hasn't played in 20 years.
She is Michael Jordan.
Yep.
I mean, it's unbelievable. I mean, $5 billion in revenue from a concert tour. I've never seen anything like this.
You probably won't again, like I said.
No, even the next time that she has a tour probably will not be like this.
Yeah, I mean, what's the time in between like giant tours like this? Like 3 years?
I mean, yeah, because this is going to
4
be 2
years.
years nonstop, pretty much.
It's
I don't know, she'll
exhausting
still be
just hearing-
37, 38?
It's exhausting just hearing her schedule.
But how
let
can you
alone-
bet against her? Also,
Right.
how can you bet against her? And the other thing is, she actually shows up and does a 3-hour set every night. It's not like she comes in for 45 minutes, collects a paycheck, and leaves.
I mean, she did it in
I've been to some of those concerts.
she did it in like not ideal conditions at Gillette Stadium.
A lot of times,
Like pouring rain.
she'll stay past the stadium curfew, and she's on the hook for extra fees to the stadium then.
Oh, is that how that works?
Yeah,
Yeah, I think she can cover the extra fees.
she can, but it's... I mean, it's not just that.
The amount of voice training or prep that you'd have to do to keep your voice intact doing that many shows, I'm sure there's a ton that goes into
A
it.
lot of tea.
Paul, our show is an hour and a half of speaking with someone else doing half the lifting. And after we're done, I basically just sit as a shell of myself for half an hour. And I'm like, what the heck just happened?
I know exactly what you mean.
People be like, oh, like, what you talking about today? I'm like, I have no idea.
I don't know. Like, you're not going to remember talking about Taylor Swift later.
No, have no idea.